Welcome back to another ADD's Action Figure Obsession video, and here we have the first of two of the Savage Land Marvel Legends X-Men squad that I'm hoping to build out here. On the right we have the Professor Charles Xavier and his Savage Land outfit, and that's pretty much stock from the store. This is a Target exclusive, which I saw in the headline of one YouTube video says it's sold out. However, it was in plentiful supply at a Target I went to yesterday. They had about a dozen of them sitting there on the pegs, so I grabbed a second one. This Professor X here, I gave him a MP7 from Velaverse Action Force, and that's a real nice looking accessory for him to be carrying around in the jungle, fighting off predators and Savage Land mutates and what have you. And then the one I bought yesterday is this one here, which is my Savage Land Banshee in a Savage Land jumpsuit, and this is the extra head from the recent kind of retro card, Banshee in the green costume. Came with a giant size X-Men #1 comic book. Building quite the comic book collection here. We got my giant size X-Men #1. We got my Ultimate Iron Man #1 and my ROM #1. You know, it's funny. I bought ROM #1 new off the stands, and I did not know until the other day, reading the comments on a review of the wonderful ROM figure, I did not know that the cover of ROM #1 was actually drawn by Frank Miller back in the day. The guy doing the video gave credit to Sal Buscema, and that was not the case. And while it's not signed by Miller, and obviously you're not going to notice it here, but if you take a look at a full-size scan of the cover, the background figures really show that sort of 1979 anatomy that Frank Miller was drawing, which was a little wonky and a little odd, but his work was always wonky and odd anyway, and that's fine. So here we have Sean Cassidy Banshee in a jungle or a Savage Land get-up costume suit, jumpsuit, whatever you want to call it. Jumpsuit, I guess, is good. And his accessory is from the Mezco 112 Collective, and I believe that's a Mac 10. It could be a Mac 9. I didn't bother to look it up before I started the video, but the accessory is probably worth at least what the figure is, but it looks pretty nice in his hand, and I think that the two of them will look pretty good in my display. Sean Cassidy, Banshee, has always been kind of a confidant to Professor X and the X-Men because he's a little older, closer to Charles's age. He's seen some stuff too. He joined the X-Men very late in his career as Banshee, joining in Giant Size X-Men #1, but he had appeared off and on in the book for years before that. And the good news is the skin tone on Banshee matches the Professor X Savage Land figure pretty well. The bad news is what I actually bought the additional Professor Xavier for first, the skin tone does not match. I was going to put his head, this Professor X head, I was going to put on the MCU Matt Murdock Spider-Man No Way Home figure and make a custom Lex Luthor. That was my plan originally, because I saw another review where somebody pointed out how the Professor X head sculpt, you take away the Savage Land jumpsuit, and he actually, he could just be Lex Luthor. And I thought, wow, that's a great idea. I'll keep an eye out for a second one, and maybe I'll try that. And I found a second one yesterday, and I said, I can't wait to get that home and try that. And I got it home, and boy, did it not work, because the skin tones just don't match between the Matt Murdock figure, which they do match this Cletus Cassidy unmasked head. Hey, Cletus Cassidy and Sean Cassidy. I wonder if they're related. They both have red hair and the same last name. Anyway. And they both like to scream a lot. And, Carnage likes to make other people scream too, but there you have it. Anyway, I really am just rambling here. I'm disappointed that I didn't get to make a Lex Luthor to go with my Mezco Superman, but I am delighted to have a Savage Land Banshee to put in my display. So that's the consolation prize, I guess, for the skin tones not matching to make a Lex Luthor. Did you pick up this Professor X figure? I think it's pretty great. The articulation isn't the greatest. There's not a whole lot you can do with it, but just to have him standing there and looking stern and in a Savage Land display with some of the other X-Men characters that were involved in that storyline, Sauron or whoever, um, it looks nice. And like I said, at least in one Target very near me, they are still in plentiful supply on the pegs. So if you're looking for one and you haven't been able to get one yet, get yourself to Target and see if they have them. If they don't have them on the pegs, politely ask if they can look in the back, because I never used to think that that was really a thing. But if you're polite about it, they will check their little, Star Trek tricorder and see if they have them in the back. And if they do, usually they'll be pretty nice and go get it and bring it out for you. That's my experience anyway. Feel free to leave a like on the video and comment, question, anything you'd like to talk about down below, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. That would be much appreciated. And if you do subscribe, ring the notification bell so you're alerted whenever I upload any new videos. And that's going to do it for this ADD's Action Figure Obsession video. I appreciate you watching, and I will catch you on the next one.